You know what? I really got to get some music for that. We got to get some music for that. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the first episode of Drinking Buddies in the new year 2021. I have been wanting to do this show again for so long. It has literally been like probably 6 months since the last time I did it because I've been busy. I've been grinding. All right. We've been working. We've been making things happen. But this is absolutely one of the funnest things that I get to do, which is to invite one of my buddies right around that happy hour time, crack open a bottle of whatever and shoot the shit. What you guys can come to expect from the new version of Drinking Buddies is we're going to do the same stuff we've always done, have a good time, but I also want to educate you. So we're going to do a little bit of edutainment. So I'm inviting not only just people that are my buddies, that are really, really cool people, really fun people, but are in positions where they've really built up some great scar tissue, got some great things to teach, great things to share, and some great stories to tell in terms of what business, where their business is at, and really drop some knowledge on you guys so you can level up, because that's what I'm about. I'm always about the people. What's up, Forrest?
What's going on, Ronell? How you been, my friend?
Man, I'm doing much better than the guy that has a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey on the back wall.
No. Green Bay, my friend.
Oh, Green Bay. Oh, my God. You know what? It looks black and gold from here.
Yeah, I got to get some better lighting in here, I guess. I got the whole green and gold room. Listen, I'm a Wisconsin transplant into Chicago. I'm the guy that still flies the Packers flag for all of his neighbors to hate on.
Oh, I bet, dude. Especially now.
Oh yeah.
What are you thinking about? Before we kind of get into having a little fun, talking some sports and stuff, tell the people who you are and let's crack open something to drink.
Absolutely. Well, I might have gotten a little bit of a head start.
I'm not mad at you.
So, Forrest Knipple. So I am the National Partner Director now with UJET. We are a new contact center solution in the supplier mix for a few different master agents. But I have grown up through, like probably a lot of the folks that listen to this, through the telco. I got my telco scars, as you put it.
I know about the telco scars.
And been working inside the channel for several years now. I actually had my own agency for a little while, and so I've seen a lot of different sides of this, a lot of different sides of this game. It's a fun ride.
Man, it's crazy right now, though. I got to tell you, man, I'm seeing all this tremendous growth, and a lot of people are killing it in the business. Pandemic has been very, very good for a lot of people. Let's say what's up to Jamesy real quick. Jamesy is out there. Jamesy says it too. Lee says it looks like a Joe Green jersey.
That's Forrest Gregg. That's Forrest Gregg, another Hall of Famer, my man.
All right. Do you know Jamesy?
I do not yet. Well, now
Jamesy. Jamesy's another vet of the telecom wars. All right. What are you drinking?
So today I've got some Angel's Envy, a little old fashioned.
Okay.
I mixed it up a little bit. Instead of doing the normal orange slice in here, I went with an apple slice. Ooh. It's a slightly different twist.
Ooh, like it. All right, so I need some help. So guys, Forrest is a whiskey guy. Okay. So you already, for those of you guys that know a little bit about whiskey, he already talked about the Angel's Envy, which is one of my favorites. I love Angel's Envy, but that's when you're talking to somebody that digs whiskey, because they're always going to have Angel's Envy there. So for Forrest is a whiskey guy. Forrest, you're going to help me choose what I'm drinking neat. So you tell me what am I going to drink today? I'm going to pull out. Okay, there's an Angel's Envy. I can do like you. Maybe that Heaven Hill. Huh? All right, I'm only giving two more choices, and you tell me what minor case or the Woodenville.
So I've not actually had those last two.
All right. Well,
I'm going to have to update my bench, apparently.
I'm gonna drink with what you're drinking. Then I'm gonna break out the Angels.
You can't go wrong with the Angels.
Say hello to Kathleen. Hey, Kathleen. Kathleen is a wonderful pottery artist, and she actually creates all of our custom Glen. I got to get you one of these, buddy. All of our custom Glencairn glasses. They're all handmade. They have her stamp on the back, hand sign. I'm gonna get you one.
Hey man, I think I remember actually watching one of your episodes where you had them on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jeff and Kathleen were on and did kind of like a live demonstration. That was dope. All right, cheers. Virtual. Cheers. All right. Tell me what you think about your Packers. You feeling good?
I mean, you got another MVP type season coming out of our main man. It's. I'm just trying to think who's going to give him the most difficulty. It's not going to be the Rams this weekend. I'll tell you that right now. Sorry, LA. Sorry, or I guess.
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, so it isn't because you got a quarterback with a messed up thumb. You got Aaron Donald, whose ribs are a little bit messed up. I think they got somebody else on the defense a little with some issues too. So check this out, though. Check this out. Here's where I think you should be concerned. And I didn't plan this. You can't plan this shit. You cannot plan this. As I was walking downstairs here to my bar, I saw a ESPN. God dang it, I can't find it. But here's what it said. It was about Aaron Rodgers, and it said Aaron Rodgers has thrown only 89 interceptions and like I don't know, a million completions, right? Yep. And he's like, and the article says, but he remembers every single one of them. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing. Is that a good thing? Because it tells me maybe you're a little too careful.
Hey, this is a guy. If you remember, he got passed over for Alex Smith back in the day, and he's been playing with a chip on his shoulder ever since, and making it everybody else's problem. So I'm okay if he gets angry about a mistake and just doesn't do it again. That's one on every 72, 73 passes, something like that. I think we'll be.
So, Forrest, here's another way to look at this. Okay, here's the knock on that, and here's the knock on him. He's so concerned about those statistics that he doesn't take any risk. You've heard it. You're a fan. You doesn't want to throw any interceptions.
You've seen Hail Marys, right?
Yeah, he is the very best in the history of NFL doing that.
And he has no problem throwing his receivers over.
They're not. Well, yeah. Well, but that's like okay. All right.
You can pick on other parts of that team. That is not the one you're going to want to focus on.
But that's one pass. That's one pass. And I've heard Colin. I'm a Colin Cowherd listener. So Colin Cowherd talks about Aaron Rodgers a lot, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't particularly dig Colin Cowherd. But one of the knocks that he has on him is that he feels that he's overly concerned about that stuff and doesn't want to take the risk. I get it. The Hail Mary's kind of different. It's kind of different.
Who's going to beat him this year?
In the NFC?
Mm-hmm.
No one that has to go through Green Bay. Like if they do not win, that is a massive failure for them.
I can see. I will say that when they get to the Chiefs or Baltimore, who is my guess, it's going to be one of those two that they're going to have to run through at some point.
No question, man.
Honestly, I would have said Chiefs up until about 3-4 weeks ago, but Lamar Jackson found his groove again. They're dangerous right now. When you're putting up 200 plus yards of rushing every single game, come on now.
What do you guys think out there? I want to know. Like, listen, we're in the midst of the football playoffs. Let me know who you're picking. Who are you guys picking? Who are you rolling with? I've got in the Super Bowl. I've got Baltimore and your team. That's who I'm picking.
That's actually that's who I got right now too.
And I'm only picking your team because Green, you're the only team that has a real home field advantage right now. The only who I saw your team put up 40 points in the snow. Like no one else is going to. New Orleans is not going to do that. So
I've got family in Tennessee. They thought that was pretty painful.
Oh, I can imagine. It was painful, dude. But check this out. I am picking you guys to lose though in the Super Bowl because I look at that team. I look at Baltimore, and Baltimore they are hungry. This kid Lamar Jackson, he's something different, and he's super hungry. And those defensive players are nasty. They're just mean. They're guys that you don't want to walk into. You don't want to run into in an alley. And I don't know who's mean on your team. Who's nasty?
You're not calling out one certain player. I mean, that's unfortunately, I'll agree with you on that. But I'll tell you what actually has me more nervous about that.
What?
And I think we'll win. Honestly, I mean, I'm bleeding green and gold. But the last time we went against a really good running quarterback was a guy named Colin Kaepernick, who had over 200 yards on us in a playoff game.
Yeah, that was the same year when he broke our hearts too here in Atlanta. Yeah, I remember.
And I get nervous about that run game coming anywhere into around Green Bay. It's not necessarily where our strength is stopping the run. So it's going to be very interesting whether or not legs versus arm works.
Yeah, well, the one thing I'm certain is you cannot stop him. He's going to run. He's going to run on you guys. He's going to run on everyone that's left. I don't know anyone that can. I think that. I mean, first of all, he's a freak. Let's just establish that he's a freak and he's super motivated. All right, so let me see who's.
I'll have biggest over under on that one of about 73 points right now.
That sounds about right. All right. So I'm doing this thing again for you guys that are just checking in. Yeah, I know we didn't hype this up or anything, but you're gonna have plenty of opportunities to watch this because we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna replay it. We're gonna do tons of beautiful content, put it on all the platforms, and we're gonna have a fun time with this. So we're really, in the middle of the pandemic. I want to make sure you guys are still getting this edutainment, man. That we're bringing on people that can share great business advice with you, and with the podcast not being something that we can do as often as we would like to do it. In comes Drinking Buddies, man. This is where we're gonna fill that gap, and we're gonna create tons of content that you guys are gonna love. Bringing on my buddies like Forrest to talk a little football and then talk a little business. All right, I've got this little segment that I want to do. I'm calling it First Date, because this is the first date for you and the viewers of this platform. So I'm gonna ask you some first date questions. This is just so we can get to know everyone can get to know you. You need to know who Forrest is. All right.
On the beach.
On the beach. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
That's my question, because that lets me know something. Right, sales guys. I don't trust the sales guy that doesn't drink coffee.
Yeah, I've got the whole T-shirt that's got the coffee and for closers thing. Big believer.
Oh.
But man, I tried the tea thing. I can't do tea. That's just.
I play with it. So like I had some Earl Grey before I came down here, but that was after having 4 cups of espresso throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't want to go full espresso. Let me do some Earl Grey. All right. What are you watching? Movies, TV? What's your preference? Movies or TV, first of all?
Oh man. So I was a big movie guy, but I'd like to see that in the theaters. And since that's not even an option right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, man, I got into a show called Ted Lasso. You seen that one yet?
Yeah, man. It's not bringing me in, and I love Jason Sudeikis.
See, I was the opposite. I was not a big Jason Sudeikis fan. I didn't mind him, but it wasn't like I'd go look for his shows. There's some life coach stuff in what he does that I actually think is pretty relevant, and that I've seen and done. Now you got to get around some of the, the goofy stuff going on around him too, right? But that positive.
So you're digging it for like the the lessons in it. The okay, that's cool. But when I watch Jason Sudeikis, I think that's kind of what kind of turned me off a little bit. Like, because I want him to be funny and do goofy stuff. Like, I watched probably 3 or 4 episodes of it, and I'm like, first of all, I'm not a huge soccer fan. And the concept for you guys that haven't watched this show, the concept is he's Forrest, you tell us, what's the concept? You watched all the episodes.
He was a successful D3 college football coach that gets pulled over to England to take over Premier League soccer team, where
Which is ridiculous.
the owner has brought him over basically to tank this team as a vendetta against her ex-husband. But it turns out that this guy is like this incredible life coach type of person that's making everybody enjoy working hard for him despite the situation they're in. And it deals with team dynamics, a number of other things that I think are relevant in business, quite frankly. I mean, you see some characters in here that are, the old grizzled vet that feels like he's due more than he is, and he's got to step up in the team. You got your young hot shot that is not a team player and needs to understand the value of that team. You've got your coach who is trying to figure out the dynamics of getting people excited about doing well and working together as a group instead of just individual play. I mean, there's a lot of little things that I've taken from the way he's doing that. And of course, working the dynamics of working with his boss, who was set out to make him fail and is trying against her own will to change her mind about, hey, maybe we have something here and we should build something bigger versus just throwing in the towel. So,
So Jason Sudeikis is teaching business lessons. That's cool. I can rock with it, but again, I wanted to make me laugh.
What are you watching, man?
Okay, so let me see where I start. Oh, is it Your Honor? That's called. It's called Your
Honor. Yeah.
Your Honor. Yeah, Your Honor. Whoa, loving that. I'm about 5 or 6 episodes into that with Bryan Cranston. That's really good, and I'm a huge Bryan Cranston fan.
It's on my list.
I watched here's the thing. I've watched so much shit, so much, with being with quarantine and all that stuff. But recently, finished The Mandalorian. Everyone's watched The Mandalorian, right? What else? Okay, this is gonna not build me any fans, but I have. What's up, Raza? Raza Ali checking in from Houston. Let's give him a shout out. What's up, buddy? Okay. It's not going to make me any fans, but it's a guilty pleasure because I have this thing that I do where when I'm working, I've always got something on, right? But it can't be something that I'm too invested in because then it takes attention from work. Well, that thing that's always on right now is Superstore. Okay. Which is an NBC show. And now I'm in, man. I'm like 4 seasons in, and I'm like into the storyline. And
all right, you're giving me crap about Ted Lasso, and you're watching Superstore. Come on now.
It's a guilty pleasure. We all have them. What's your guilty pleasure? I know you got one.
Oh man, so I got 3 teenagers. And they start watching some shows, and I'll just peek over their shoulder. And so I'll tell you, a little guilty pleasure right now is, what the heck is it called? His Dark Materials.
Is that? But that has good reviews, though.
It's well done, and it was. I remember years ago.
It's an HBO show, right?
Again, that I was a big movie fan. There was a movie called Golden Compass.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was built for sequels and never had a sequel. And they had big names in it too. And so this is actually that entire trilogy and actually building it out. It's kind of like Game of Thrones where they're actually following what the book was. and doing a good job. They're doing a really good production job of it, but it wouldn't normally fit into what I would probably watch as an adult versus teenager.
Got you.
No.
Hey, what about reality?
I got enough reality every single day living in a pandemic. I don't need to watch other people dealing with it.
Okay, so love after lockup, man. I'm sorry. Love after lockup. I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and that is my guilty pleasure that I watch with her. Love after lockup, and I love it because it's just full of train wrecks. And if you haven't seen it, it is people who enter into relationships with people that are in prison, right? And so like now they're getting out of prison, and they're getting married or whatever else, and it is just train wreck after train wreck it, and I can't take my eyes off of it. I love it. It's horrible though. It's horrible. All right, next question. You went to school in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Are you from Wisconsin originally?
I am. Yeah, grew up on the southern border, south of Madison.
All right. What's your favorite beer?
That honestly, I do not have a favorite.
Style?
You got a favorite style? I drink a lot of IPAs.
Yeah.
So big, heavy beers, and once a year I host my own Highland Games, like Scottish Games thing, and I'll get a barrel of Scottish ale and put that down. So darker, thicker beers, you're probably not going to go wrong with me.
Nice. All right. The question that's not on here, your last name.
Yeah.
What is the heritage? What's your heritage? What is that?
So I joke that I'm actually incredibly Scottish and Irish.
Uh-huh.
And I had one sneaky kraut that got in there with that last name somewhere along the way. And so it's actually a German name, last name, but you only go about one layer up, and then it goes all to these McGregors and McKenzies and Campbells and so on and so forth. But German.
All right, I didn't know like this because there's a lot of in that region of the Minnesota, Wisconsin. There's a lot of Canuts, right? Like I got a buddy, Knutson up there. I never would have known how to pronounce your name properly if not for him. Shout out to Dan. What's up, buddy? All right. I want to ask you a business question.
All right.
First of all, before I ask you a business question, let's set it up. Your company, UJet, what are you guys doing?
So we're coining it as Contact or CCAS 3.0. So when you're taking a look at what the contact center solutions have been for a long time, you had these couple stages. First, you had you went from this on-premise piece to the cloudification. Everybody was moving everything off-prem and into the cloud, so they had some different scalability in the actual product, and you could deliver all over the world a lot easier. But then you had the second stage, that CCAS 2.0, which was the rise of, frankly, a lot of our competitors because they were able to tie in some different third-party functionality. They were starting to talk about AI, and other cloud-based scale and features and so on into the contact center. But if you take a look at how we're doing business today, how do most of us live? If it's not on a computer, on that little baby, right?
Yep.
And so you think about how consumers work today. I'm calling from my phone. I'm in their app. I'm making a phone call from that. Even the website, I'm probably doing whatever kind of support ticket I need through that cell phone. But until we came in, and I'm not saying we're the only one, but I'll say that we're one of the first that has really kind of built out the contact center solution for the mobile smartphone era. And so we're doing a couple really cool things in the marketplace that have been noticed significantly around building an experience through your through the contact center's app. So you're driving more people through their business app, which is good for loyalty. It's good for people spending more dollars through them, support, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of reasons that they want people to use their apps. But then the next part of that is, what's the first thing you typically have to do when you call in on a utility bill to verify who you are?
What, utility bill? I don't know.
And any customer support. First thing they ask you to see who's on the other end of the line.
Your name.
Your name, what's your social, last four
Your
digits,
social, yeah.
your mother's maiden name,
Yeah.
whatever the heck it is. And so you're spending time figuring out how in the heck you can even validate that you're the person that called in,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you open your phone, how do you open your phone? Look at it, put your thumb on it, right?
Yep.
Well, why aren't we doing that directly for the customer contact center?
Okay. So how do you do that?
So this is one of many things that we're able to do. It's not the only thing by far, but a real brief example.
Okay, pause that because I want you to answer that, but I want to cue it up.
Sure.
Because guys, this is movie magic, right? Like we're gonna cut all this shit up and make it beautiful. So, all right. So and action. So Forrest.
Action.
Tell me something really cool that you guys are able to do with your tech.
All right. If you're making me pick just one, I'll tell you one of the first things that we can do. If you call into a customer contact center that's using us, and instead of going through the rigmarole of figuring out what your last four digits of Social Security are, your mother's maiden name, what your final address was, 18 different things they ask you to see if that's actually Ronell or not,
mm-hmm.
I'll simply send a push notification over your phone and say, hey, unlock your phone. And just like you would normally where you're using your face or your thumbprint or whatever else, like that, it is already validated because your phone already knows that's you. And that's pushing the information directly over to the CRM of that contact center. I'm done. I'm done. It took me a second, 2 seconds to be able to be done with that. And frankly, from a customer standpoint, less effort for me to work with you on my problem.
So who is your ideal client? Are you guys working mostly in the enterprise space?
Yeah, there's a lot of enterprise. I mean, we're all over right now, but I'll tell you a lot of B2C type of companies. Financial fintech has been huge for this right now because think about how people are being pushed to their apps to be able to do customer support right now.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. IoT. In fact, I can't really say their name just yet, but I guarantee if you know somebody with something on their wrist as IoT, it might be one of our customers right now.
Nice. There's only a couple of possible names in that.
You got a pretty good opportunity to guess which one. And frankly, hopefully more very soon. We have huge on-demand resources. One of our larger customers that really helped us prove out our scale. Went from like 1,000 to 29,000 users in a matter of 40 days because of when the pandemic hit. They were doing online groceries, and of course, how did you get your groceries? Suddenly, we had to do a lot of it on demand. And so we were able to set up the customer support functions for that and make it really, really user friendly. So they're a fantastic customer for us. Again, a lot of these, I'm waiting for the marketing ability to be able to grow those names. And right now, our alliance team is going crazy. They're a very shiny penny for a lot of alliances coming at us. So, doing some very cool things with different marketplaces.
So that leads me to another question, because you guys are really making a push in the indirect channel and really trying to activate agents and everything. So like, what a new agent, right? To you, to your company, what are kind of some best practices for those guys to be successful with you? Like, what do you, because, as someone that's been in the industry for a very long time, what I always look for is carriers or suppliers that came to me and said, hey, look, here's some best practices that we've already learned. Do some of this stuff and you'll be successful, right? Instead of me having to figure it out all on my own. So what are maybe some advice or some best practices that you can give, that would help people, help agent companies that are new to representing you guys?
So what's interesting is in a couple of weeks, we're actually going to be on a series that is teaching how to sell into CCAS for folks that haven't sold into CCAS before. But
I got you exclusive.
You got me
exclusive right here.
Here's what I tell you, a lot of people overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I would do if I'm prospecting somebody, understand how their business is working right now. Can I figure out what the challenges are without even having to ask them?
Mm-hmm.
So think about, I am thinking about, I'll use a very real example. My cable company, I have had to deal with, unfortunately, too many times. And when I call in for customer support, I run into the same challenges that I've seen with a lot of different companies. If I change channels, moving from a phone call to an app or to text or whatever else, I got to start over. I got to revalidate who I am. A lot of times I got to repeat myself or explain my situation again. Man, that gets really frustrating. It is. We talk about customer effort scores, and the more effort I have to put in, the less likely I want to work with you.
Yeah.
We've, for better or worse, we've gotten very, I almost want to say lazy about wanting to work hard to get something done.
But that's okay. Of course, it's a reality.
Yeah. So if you think about how you're going to sell into one of those prospects, call them as a customer.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I mean, you can have real experience to say, hey, listen, I called in. This is what my experience was. Likely I'm not alone.
So you know what? That's tremendous advice, and that is something that honestly I've never heard anyone say on this platform, and this platform or the Business Bourbon platform, and it's something that translates to any seller because when you're in the sales game, it's about finding the pain, right? We want to find the pain, and then whatever it is that we sell is the Band-Aid for that, right? How many of us as sellers really think about approaching the sales process from coming in from the back end like a customer, right? And then articulating to our prospect, hey, this is my perception of the customer experience based upon what I experienced, right? That's what they care about at the end of the day. They care about they don't give a shit about your product so much as they care about their customers and getting more customers. I love that. Dude, that was tremendous.
Well,
all right, that's it. Mic drop. Show over. It gets no bigger than that. I love that. Next question I have for you though. So, a lot of people that either watch the Business and Bourbon or listen to Business and Bourbon stuff, or aren't in the network, they're in the SMB world, right? And one of the things that we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years is we've seen all of this great technology get pushed down market, right? Mm-hmm. Like 15 years ago, I bought $80,000 worth of servers, contact center servers, and put them in a closet in my little office. And now I can do that same everything I could do with that times 10 for $200 a month, right?
Yep.
So from your perspective and this cool stuff that you guys are doing, is there maybe some SMB solutions that UJET has available, or if not, just some recommendations that you might have for that SMB space of here's some cool stuff you can take advantage of or you should be using?
So a lot of it depends on what they're trying to accomplish. I don't even want to necessarily just call it SMB versus enterprise versus whatever. Yes, if you're enterprise, yes, you have more money to be able to throw in this. And frankly, when you're taking a look at the cost ROI of doing different things, you're using bigger numbers. And so things cost justify themselves a lot quicker. But I mean, for us in particular, we're in we'll call it a consumer space. Mm-hmm. You're showing that your business is good for others to work with you. And I've seen, I don't know how many different stats at this point, that the easier you are to do business with, the more business people do with you, period. I don't care if you're SMB or, Jeff Bezos. So, although that's a really good example, as you take a look, why are people using a lot of Amazon? Well, because they're really, really easy to use. Mm-hmm. So I like that. That's a great lesson from the enterprise space to the SMB space is
you said ease of use, right? Ease of doing business with, right?
Yeah.
Is there any, first of all, with UJet, do you have an SMB offering, or are you guys focused on enterprise exclusively?
We're focused more on enterprise. I mean, kind of, I'd say the majority of our customers probably have, 25 agents or more is most common. And I'd say even more common than that's probably, a few hundred type of agents, larger contact centers like that. But again, if you take a look at the cost is justified very quickly by the amount of effort that both you and your consumer have to use to be able to get to your end result, whatever that end result is, whether that's a customer satisfaction score, or it's more orders because they're real easy to purchase through you, or it's, patronage because they know that when they have a problem, you handle it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And so for us in particular, I mean, one of the other big things we do is we actually don't keep any PII information. So when I was talking about some of the benefits, because we're not keeping any of that information, we're pushing it directly to the contact center customer's CRM tool, whether that's Salesforce, Zendesk, Microsoft Dynamics, I don't know who else is on Customer with a K, Freshdesk, I think is a new big one that's out there. Because we do those things, it makes it really, really easy for that contact center person who is used to working inside of one of those CRMs every single day to just work as normal. They're not trying to learn a new system. Okay. So turning the full circle for you, if I'm a small business and I can cost justify the license fee for working with something that has the tools we have, because that's going to help you grow your business, possibly out of SMB, because now you're getting more customers that are willing to work with you because you're a great company to work with. Hey, fantastic. Mm-hmm. I know one of your other questions was, okay, if it's not you, then who? It's a tricky one. And I don't know that you're going to get something anywhere close or similar to us in what's being promoted to the SMB space right now. Okay. There's a tendency to use a lot more of the UCaaS platforms, I would say, to handle some of that right now, until they've grown to a level where they can cost justify that jump into a true contact center solution. Okay.
Hey, so I want to shift gears a little bit and provide some guidance to our sales folks out there. So how long have you been in sales for us?
Oh, let's see, 20 plus years.
20 plus years. All right, guys, we got 20 plus years here. So
these are earned stripes right here, my friend.
That's what I always do, man. When I'm in the liquor store and I'm like, oh, let me see your ID.
Exactly.
It is. So I think the sales game is, and it's constantly in evolution. Although my personal belief system is fundamental stuff always works. It's about taking the fundamentals and applying the new tech and all that to be successful. But I want to ask you, as a guy that's spent 20 plus years in sales, what do you think people aren't getting right now, or what do you think they could do better in general? SDRs, AEs, folks that are prospecting, reaching out. What do you think they could do better or aren't getting right?
Well, I mean, the easy answer here is, are you using all the tools available to you? Mm. I mean, and I know that's near and dear to your heart. I've seen how many videos you've put out there about, are you using Zoom correctly? Are you using, LinkedIn? Are you using all these? Man, we have a lot of tools available to us for free, frankly, mostly, that I don't think a lot of salespeople do, because they just don't want that extra effort to follow up on a phone call with an email, with a video, with a object, so that they're more top of mind, or they get real lazy and send out a single or maybe two emails that say, hey, please take my connection, and they don't follow it up with anything personal. And there's certainly, I'd say this has been true throughout every sales career that I've ever seen. Have you done your due diligence to understand what the value is to the person you're trying to contact?
Yeah.
Man, does that get missed a lot. I can't believe how often that gets missed.
And the value from their perspective, not yours.
Yeah.
What matters is what matters to them, not what we perceive. And so, Forrest, I love that you brought that up, because that's something that I've seen like forever, especially with corporate sellers, right? Here's where corporate leadership and enterprise, that size, a lot of times we lead our people in the wrong way. We let our people down. We bring them in and do this great corporate sales training, right? And this corporate sales training tells them about our product, right? Oh, our product is awesome, and a bunch of perceived value propositions. And then we say, go out and sell it. And then these sellers go out and they're like, okay, here's our value prop. This is what matters to you. Instead of really understanding what's most important is to do kick-ass discovery. Sit down. We don't teach in corporate sales training. We don't teach people how to do great discovery. So they can sit down with you and say, hey, Forrest, okay, what's going on in your business? Unrelated to what the hell it is that I do. What's going on? What matters to you? Because when I understand what matters to you most in your business, dude, I can always make my stuff fit. I can always make my stuff fits whatever it is that you got going on, whatever your concern is. I'm going to fix it with this, whatever it is, this tech, this UCAS solution, this CCAS, whatever it is. So that's where I see that they kind of go wrong. You agree?
I'd say absolutely, because if you haven't prepared for what the objections are going to be, then you're not prepared. You should already know that when you turn that into a conversation, not just you talking at them, that they're engaged when they bring an objection, or even not just a traditional objection of, I don't think that will work, but a concern. You get them to talk about a concern about what you're saying to them, and then understand what the rebuttal is for that, hopefully ahead of time, not just flying on your feet. You'll be in a more trustworthy advocate type of role for them.
There you go. So I got another big beefy question for you. So generalized question. What do you think, as someone that's again, a sales veteran and a leader in the industry, what do you think about the state of sales people today? Sales people better, worse? What do you think?
Yeah, it's not better or worse. It's different. When we started our sales careers, it was bang on the phone, right? It was smile and dial, hit that telephone button, just or run up and down the hallways of a high rise until you get kicked out of the building. It was the badge of honor of being thrown out of a building, right?
Yeah,
off of a block. That's not necessarily how a lot of people want to be contacted today. So it is a different sales process than when I grew up. And it's a lot of adapting for me and for other folks that have been doing it as long as me, to figure out the right combination of virtual and live to be able to get somebody's attention. And by the way, there is no right answer. I have had this debate 1,000 times about whether or not telemarketing is dead. And I will tell you, I'll fight you tooth and nail. It is not dead. Absolutely not dead. But
I will fight with you. I'll be right there. We'll be like locked shoulders. We'll be like the Spartans, man. Hell yeah. I will fight right with you, because it isn't.
But if you were trying to do only that, you were missing a hell of a lot of prospects.
Mm-hmm.
So figure out what your social profile looks like. Understand what what you look like online when people do their cyber stalking back of the person that's trying to get a hold of them.
Yes. So what I'm hearing from you is that multi-pronged approach to the sales process, right? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
It always has been. I mean, the media by which you get out to them may change a little bit, but the process is the same. Hit them from multiple facets. It's, I guarantee all of us learned in school, if you want to remember stuff, you hit multiple sensory.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of the tech, man. That's the beauty of what you guys are doing, and companies like you guys are doing is where we have platforms, we have tech that allows us to go at this thing from different angles. That's maybe where, while I admire what we came up in, and knocking doors, picking up the phone, smiling, dialing, banging out 150 calls, all that stuff. I think that where people that have come up in that can learn to evolve is we got to take that and we got to do more with it. So it's not necessarily 150 calls, maybe 50 calls, and then we're coming at from different angles. We're again, you made mention of social media, email. One of the things I'm a fan of now for us is direct mail.
Because nobody does it anymore. I mean, let me tell you, if I get a handwritten note from somebody, I'm like, oh,
yes,
yes.
You got to put work into it. Don't send any damn postcards. But if you put some work into it, you send some quality pieces. It's super impactful. What I talk to a lot of folks about is the importance of the database. Like, we spend so much time on like the activities from here to here that this stuff, a lot of people don't spend a ton of time on creating really great data and really great databases to make sure that we are zeroed in and targeted on the people that are the best fit for us. Like for you, we were talking about earlier, UJET and the type of clients that you guys are after. I think that's probably super important. Is we talked about a new agent coming on and selling your product. They got to really know who's the very best fit for you guys, right? And I think that's where I see so often. And the funny thing is for us is we live in the information age, but no one uses the damn information. Like, it's not as hard as you might think that it would be to really create a great database. But we'll do the equivalent of what we used to do 20 years ago, which is pull out the yellow pages and just start dialing shit instead of really taking the time to mine data through LinkedIn. And some of the sellers, now, first of all, I don't want to paint with a broad brush because I've seen some tremendous sellers that do a really great job with this. There's a guy, I'm gonna give him a shout out, Jason Rosenthal. Jason that sells Intel does a fantastic job. And he does such a great job that I became a fan of Sales Intel, and we've since formed somewhat of a partnership with their company because he does such a good job on that front end. So not everyone does a shitty job, but a whole lot of you do. But then a whole lot of us were shitty too back 20 years ago.
You didn't know what you didn't know until you learned the hard way a lot of times. Yeah. And now for the folks that did the smile and dial, you can still do that, but why in the hell aren't you using the tools to understand who you're calling, what they're about, what they're interested in, what they're going on? I guarantee you there's PR releases about the company you're calling on. I guarantee you, if they're publicly traded, you can read a 10K or something simple to make sure that you have a relevant conversation for that individual. And it's the same thing dealing with consumers.
You think some of that comes back to leadership for us?
I mean, putting the softball out there for me.
I am. Come on, man.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have good sales leaders, they're helping you get through some of those growing pains a lot faster, right?
Yeah.
And making the right investments to help you do your craft better and continually improve on your craft. And don't kid yourself. There's as much art as there is science in this.
Hell yeah. Okay. Fun question. Do you have a favorite whiskey?
Yes. So it's not one that you're going to find on a regular shelf because, in fact, I've been trying to find it again. It was I use it very, very limited. It was like a small batch brand that my sister-in-law, who's from Kentucky, and we got our own little whiskey exchange going on. She bought me a bottle. I don't even have a name for it. It's I think the name on it is Bottle 312.
Really? That's the best stuff, man.
For what you can find in stores?
Yeah. See, I got one of those. This one came straight out of the barrel. There's no labels, no nothing.
Exactly what mine looks like. A little shorter and stouter, but man, Pappy's pretty good.
So if Richie were on here, Richie is my is the master taster for business and bourbon, Richie would say, yeah, Forrest, it is really good, but not that good. Price wise, because the second.
I'm not saying value wise. I'm not saying value. I'm saying taste wise.
Yeah. Okay. So how about something that everyone can get?
Well, I mean, like my fallback is on the Angels. It's really easy to find. It's got good taste. It's not ridiculously expensive for value type of good taste. I can fall back to that all day long.
Me too. That's a great one, man. Great choice. Do you have a preference of bourbon or rye, or what? Do you have a preference?
Bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely fall more to bourbon.
Now, have you had Angels Envy rye?
I'm sure I have.
Oh, you would know if you've had it, buddy. So it's aged in rum cask, and it is delicious.
Right now, I'm not saying that I've had a lot of drinks, but if I start memorizing individual drinks at the bar.
All right. Well, the next time you're at the bar, make sure that's one that you need to have in your bar when available. It's hard for me to keep it in stock at my bar because it's hard to find. Like, they sell out of it all the time. All right.
How are you on gin? So I'll tell you, I've actually started to build a love for gin.
Have you really? So
it's not all. A lot of it tastes like pine.
Yeah. That's my issue. What you got?
It's called Dingle.
I don't know about that name.
So it's I know. Unfortunate name, right? But so this is I had the ability of going to Ireland with my dad and family a couple years ago, just in time, frankly. And there's a town called Dingle in Ireland, and they obviously make the gin, and now they're starting to distribute this worldwide. But it is by far the best gin that I've had anywhere.
So is Mark saying does Mark had that? Mark, what have you had? Mark says one of his favorites. Is it the Dingle? Is that, so you got the Dingle from?
We're gonna have fun with this one.
You got it in Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it distributed here?
That one.
Is it distributed here too?
You can find it. Yeah, actually, my brother actually found this in Wisconsin. He had a distributor that was able to order it overseas and got it. And this was a Christmas present.
Nice. All right. So I'm not much of a gin guy, but I tried to work it in over the holiday. I kind of took a break from whiskey to reset my palate because I'm the business and bourbon guy. So I drink a lot of whiskey, not like you guys would think. People think I drink way too much. I really don't. But you have an event every evening, and there are a couple evenings during the week. You have a little bit of whiskey. Anyway, so I was trying to reset my palate, and so shout out to my guys at Montgomery Distillery. You see that? All right, it's almost out. So I was kind of trying to work this in. It's actually for a gin. Pretty good. These guys are out of Montana, Missoula.
What's the name on that?
So the name of this is White Lady.
I thought that's what I saw. I'm like, man, we got jokes galore going on here. I'm drinking Dingle, you got a White Lady. I mean, come on now.
I'm drinking on the White Lady over here. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Mark, Angels Envy, that's what's up. So, yeah, this isn't bad. And again, these guys are out of Missoula. They're a good distillery, and it's not too piney. So I don't know. I'm trying to. How do you drink it? You drinking it neat? Or are you drinking it with something? You mixing it?
The Dingle, I'll drink neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me,
the only ones I would.
Tell me how much you enjoy the Dingle.
Oh, we are not. I don't know how much you love the White Lady. I mean,
Oh my God. All right, guys. I don't care if I hope you guys are enjoying that. If you're not, that's okay. I'm enjoying myself because really, I created this particular show because I wanted to have fun and talk to people that I really dig, like Forrest. Forrest, thanks for hanging out, man.
I really appreciate you having me, man.
We're running up on an hour. You guys are probably like, oh, okay, Ronell, that's enough. Oh, well, it's not enough because we're going to make tons of micro content from it. So you're going to see Forrest. You're going to see much more of Forrest. Hey, I want to let you guys know what's going on too. If you haven't joined my text community, make sure you do that. 404-737-6810. And we're just sharing stuff, right? Just another way to connect, sales advice, whiskey stuff, whatever. I sent a text over the weekend about my transcendental meditation course. Why? Why not? Right? I'm all about, sharing what stuff I'm doing that might be a benefit to people. Transcendental meditation. I took a course because I'm into meditation because I need it. I need it. We all need it. Right. And so anyway, join that if you haven't. The Business and Bourbon website and platform is all being redesigned right now. It's going to be really cool. It's going to take a little while before we launch the new one, but you guys can still sign up on the member thing, get the free membership. We just want it to be far more interactive on the back end, so that you can do business with people in the network. You can share whiskeys, reviews, and share advice, and we just want you to collaborate more and kind of take things off of social media. And what I mean by that, I'm very appreciative of the platform that we have on social media, but it's a bit convoluted. It's a bit spread out. So, our people that care about business and they like whiskey too. So I want to bring everyone on a platform where we can all share and really, collaborate at a higher level. So pretty simple as that. More coming out on that. Stay tuned. This whole episode, as well as future episodes, will be exclusively on the Business and Bourbon Network, as well as all the clips and all that, and all the advice from great people like Forrest. Forrest, as we get ready to wrap this bad boy, you got any life-changing major advice for people what is the one thing you would say that can change the world?
Other than going to Ireland for dingle?
I'll get to Ireland for some dingle and bring some white lady while you're at it.
Yeah, no, I actually, to put kind of unfortunately, we only have so much time to go through some of the great sales ideas and such, but here's what I tell you. For my company, at least, if you are looking at playing around or not, I would say playing around, but if you are serious about getting into the contact center space, which is a very, very fast growing technology space because of the benefits to businesses of all sizes, give us a call. I mean, get in contact with me through Ronell or directly, and let me put you in contact with the people who have been doing this for a long time. It's a group sport. It's a group sport, and we're here to help our partners win. So whether that's with us or just in general.
So guys, make sure you if you're not already a member of the Business and Bourbon community, go to Business and Bourbon Live, get on there. Once we get all this launched on there, we'll have tons of contact information. You can follow up with Forrest, get in contact with his team if you want to partner with UJ. You want to do some business with them. You want to pick this guy's brain. You'll have all of that there. So a little bit of patience because we're in development of that, but it'll be out before you know it. And just make sure that you're first in line by getting on there if you're not already a member. All right. If you are one of my friends, which of course you are because you're watching this, or you're not watching it because I didn't promote it. I should have promoted. That's okay. We'll put a bunch of content out there. You guys will see it.
We got some clips.
And you want to hang out and have a drink and you got some real value to bring, hit me up. Jamesy, hit me up. We need to do this. All right, you can get on Drinking Buddies. Forrest, my guy, good luck this weekend. Although I do not think that you need it.
This might not be the weekend I need it as much as hopefully a couple of weeks from now.
If you lose the Super Bowl, though, if you don't win at all, don't you think it's kind of like, what do you think that means for Aaron Rodgers' legacy, all that?
Oh, I think his legacy is fine. There's been a lot of, well, think about it. You've got a lot of really top-notch quarterbacks that did not win a Super Bowl, and he's already won a couple.
One.
Well, I'm prognosticating on this year. It's coming. It's coming this year again.
So here's the difference. Here's the difference as I leave you on this. Here's the difference, my opinion. He is the most talented quarterback of his generation. And to only get one, it kind of doesn't, it puts him at a level I personally think that he shouldn't be at, and he'll be looked at not by me, but by the media and everyone else on the same tier as all those other good quarterbacks that you mentioned. When I, in fact, I'm not a Packer fan, but I believe that he is better than good. He is great. He is the greatest talent of his generation, I think.
I would say that, the records are going to be the records, and he's up in those talks on almost all of them.
Yeah, but he's not in the talks of the GOAT. He's not in the GOAT conversation.
Listen,
if you want to talk about the records, Brett Favre had a lot of records too.
And he's considered one of the greatest.
No,
come on. Oh, we can have a whole new show on this one.
He's a tier below. Like, no one when people were talking about, they're talking about Brady. They're talking about Brady. They're talking about Montana. They're talking about Elway. There's a level like below that. And for the record, not a Brett Favre fan. My wife is a massive Brett Favre fan. I am not, because I think that guy, I watched him, really talented, but he's going to give you an opportunity every single game. Every single game, he's going to give you an opportunity. He always did. That's why he's got one Super Bowl. But he's great. I'm sorry. Forrest, we're friends, man. I don't want to end this on a bad note. Go Pack.
Yeah, thank you. There we go.
All right, my friend.
Here's my question for you. When are we all traveling again?
When did I stop?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Guys, I have been responsible. I have only, since the pandemic, I have only flown 4 times. All right. Would be more, but yeah, and I've been very careful, very safe. No one's sick. I'm not sick. It's all good. I cannot wait. Like, I say we get a crew together, go do this, go have Richie set up a Louisville thing for us. You, me, Forbush, Brooker, whatever. I am so down for it, guys. If you're watching, but Scott's paying because he's got the bigger title than everyone. Scott, you're paying.
The new CRO, actually, as I saw.
Yes, congrats, Scott. Congrats, man. All right, Forrest. But no, all that aside, after the show, yes, I'm down. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been an hour of hijinks and Packer hate and Packer love, and some business advice as we continue to do this thing. We're gonna keep refining it. But again, thank you so much. Make sure that you get on businessandbourbon.live, sign up, be a member. You'll get all this exclusive content that will only be there. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Reno.